What's happening, beautiful humans? Welcome to my channel. I know it's taken a while for me to film, but finally I am. So here I am. Hello. I wanted to share today how I glue my brows down. I've had a few requests for this, so I thought this should be my first video. So there's a few things you'll need, obviously. First of all, you need some alcohol or just a really clean face with no moisturizer or anything. Obviously, if you have moisturizer on or just anything on your skin or greasy skin, you know, day of sweat and whatever else, the glue won't stick very well and it will just fall apart and be a mess. What you also need, crazy, is glue stick. Colored glue stick. Make sure it's colored. It needs to be a blue, green, purple, whatever, just not clear. This is so you can see where you're putting it. That's very important, especially when you're first starting out. You'll also need some wipes. What's happening with my hair? You'll need a fan of some sort. I have this cute little electric one, well, battery operated one. I love her. I can do film clips. Anyway, or you could just have a manual handheld fan, you know. You'll also need some setting powder. I just use, this is Maybelline Fit Me. I use just cheaper products when I'm doing things like this because it just sits under everything else. And then also, once we get to the covering the actual brow part, you'll need a decent concealer that is high coverage, and then also a decent foundation that is high coverage. For my brows, for the concealer, I like to use the e.l.f. Camo concealer, the, what is it, 16-hour Camo concealer. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom a little bit. It didn't really work. Anyway, it's a low price. It does what it needs to do. It's good. It covers the brows. I don't use it for anything else on my face because it's too hectic. It's really hard to work with. But with the brows, it works really well. And you'll also need a mirror so you can see what you're doing, obviously. Cool. Alrighty, let's get to it. I'll move a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Is that close enough? All right, so I just use a spray alcohol because I use it also to disinfect, clean my palettes. You know, if I'm using my eyeshadow palettes on other people, then I like to be able to give them a bit of a clean before and after. So then what we need to do is just wipe on the brow and all around. Just be wary. This is pretty intense. Alcohol is pretty stenchy. It can sting. If you have sensitive skin, you probably don't want to use this. You'd probably just go with a really clean face, which also works. Just like I said, don't put any moisturizer on. Just keep them really clean. Oh, it stinks. And that's enough. You just want to make sure that they're really clean. Get in there between the hairs as well. And then we go. Nice clean brows. All right, so we grab our glue stick. What do I have? It's called glue stick. This is just from Officeworks in Australia. So just your local office supplies store, whatever. Or Target or Kmart. I don't know, just somewhere you can buy a glue stick that's blue or purple. Alrighty, so then what we do, I don't have much in the way of eyebrows. Mine are quite thin, but I forgot that we need to brush them up. So one moment while I get a brush. So we just want to make sure that they're all brushed up in the one direction, like the band. Yeah. So what we want to make sure we do is the glue, you want to glue them upwards on your head. You don't want to be going all over the place or down. You want them to dry upwards to give you more of an upwards looking face. Also, if you're getting hair in your mouth, my animals are being little pests at each other. It's adorable. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, so putting makeup on your brows, once they're glued down, obviously you want them in the one direction, so then it just helps with your makeup, so it looks better, basically. I don't have much in my brows, like I said, so I don't have to do too many layers, and I also don't have to use so much glue. A lot of people go back and forth to get a heap of glue in between each of your hairs, which you may need to do if you have a lot of hair, but you just need to make sure you work really fast and you're also going upwards, like I said at the end, because you want all of the hair to dry in an upward fashion. So let me just jump in and show you what I do. So I work from the front, and as you can see, it's blue. We need to work relatively quickly, just like that. And then the first one's done. So you can see that I look like I've had a facelift. It's beautiful. Let's do the second one. So I wiggle it a little bit to get in between each of their hairs, but not too crazy because I want them all to remain in the same direction. Don't go back and forth too much because it'll start drying. Whoopsie. It will start drying and that's when it starts to fall apart. And you don't want that, it'll look like porridge. Unless you like, whoops, dropping everything. Unless you like porridge on your eyebrows, which I don't think anyone does. All right, then what we do is we grab our wipe and we just want to wipe off any excess that's around the brow. So anything under here, because it can get a bit sticky, it means it's hard to work with makeup, etc. And also it can just look a bit funny, especially up here. My skin, you know, it's not as youthful as it once was. It can get a bit stuck together and weird. So I'll just wipe off any excess. Don't know if you heard that little sneeze then, but that was my little puppy. Her, I should say, adorable little sneezy wheezy. And just be careful not to go too high to touch the brows because you'll wipe off all the work you just did and that's just annoying. Do the same on the other side. We're looking smooth and good. And now it's time to dry. And then you want to just give them a bit of a touch and make sure that they're dry. If they're still tacky, then give it a bit more of a fan. Okay, so now we go in with another layer. I normally do no, not two. I never do 2 layers. I usually do 3 to 4 layers. You just want to make sure that you can't really see, like at the moment I can see that there's some hairs poking up. Hop down, puppy! That I still have some hairs poking up, and you don't want to have the little bumps from the hairs. You want it to be quite smooth. So just keep working with it until you have smooth brows. So again, same direction, pointing up. Make sure you look like a crazy person. And that's perfect. Wipe away excess again. And fan for me, fan for me, fan. Keep your eyes closed too when you're fanning, otherwise your eyeballs will dry out, and that's not nice. Okay, And then just keep going until your eyebrows are covered. Keep repeating those steps until you feel like they're very well covered. Also, what I forgot to mention is that you want to pluck or wax or shave, whatever you do to your brows, before gluing them down. Otherwise you'll have your little hairs poking through if they're half grown or whatever, and it can look a bit shite. So yeah, good idea to do that, which I'd already done before this. Just be mindful that putting alcohol on your skin after you've waxed or shaved or plucked might hurt. So just be mindful. Okay, so that's my brows glued. I feel pretty happy with how they look and how they feel. They're quite smooth. Now what we need to do is go in with the setting powder. This helps obviously to set because it's still quite sticky, but also to... It's my cat yelling at the puppy. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. Animals are out of the room, so now I can focus on this. Alright, so like I said, eyebrows are glued down, they feel quite good. Now we need to go in with some setting powder. I showed you the setting powder I had before. Obviously what we're doing is setting the brows. They're quite sticky. We also want to get any powders into any of the little creases and crevices to try and fill it up as much as possible. Use a lot, just go ham. And I'm not sure if you can really see, but it's fairly smooth in there, which is what we want, especially this side. Oh, that looks good. Looks good. Now at this point, if you do see that you've screwed anything up, you have to start again. You can't go in and fix it, really. If you did that, it would be a mess. I've tried. Alrighty, then we want to dust off any excess. And at this point it might look a bit strange. You can see basically all around my brow where the glue has been, and on this side as well. This side's a bit thicker, you can tell. You can never get them 100% perfect, but you know, they're pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Alrighty, then what we want to do is go in with concealer and totally get rid of the brow. Bye bye brow. Now my sponge is clean, I promise. It's just a bit dirty from doing my makeup just before. So don't judge me. Okay, so like I said, the e.l.f. concealer, the Camo concealer, and I use a really light color because I'm pasty as fuck. And then what we want to do, well, you just want to cover the hell out of your brows and fill in any crevices. So we did that with the powder before. It doesn't necessarily fill in everything, so we want to make sure that we get a lot in there. Passion. All right, let's bounce. So as you can see, this concealer is hectic and doesn't exactly blend the best. All right, I'll go in with a little bit more just to put under my eyebrows a bit more. Now this is the cheaper way of covering your brows. There's obviously other ways you can do it. A lot of people use Prozaid. If you work in the industry or if you're a drag queen, it's much more expensive. I've actually never used it. I would like to get some though, so I think maybe I should I should use it and maybe I should film it one day. Yeah, this is just the cheaper version. Much easier, cheaper. If you screw it up, you're not wasting, I don't know, $20 or something like that. The only problem is if you sweat a lot or if you're in a hot climate and you do this, you might run into some problems because glue sticks come off with water. So that can be a problem. All right, now we look like a complete weirdo. It's fabulous. I usually go in and set again. I know it sounds crazy. You've got powder, glue, concealer, more powder, and then on top of that you put foundation, but I promise you it does all work. It all comes together. Okay. Let's grab a foundation. A foundation. A foundation. So you can see they're fairly well covered. I'm pretty happy with that. It's a sneeze from my husband. So I will use the Kryolan, yep, TV paint stick because this is crazy coverage and makes my brows vanish. Like I said, if you don't have this, then anything that is high coverage, you want high coverage, especially if you have thicker eyebrows, you need high coverage. You may need to do the whole orange thing on top of the brows if you have really thick ones. I've never had to do that, but it cancels out the whole blue look if you do that. Perhaps I could do a video about doing that because you can also do it with facial hair if you want to cover facial hair. You know, male, female, whoever you are, might want to cover some facial hair or hair somewhere. So it is a handy thing to do. Okay, and then we want to set that again. The thing I don't like about the Kryolan, I find that so hard to say, is that it stinks. It smells like theatre makeup, which is good memories, but it stinks. Okay, and there we have it, my glued down brows, and also how I cover them. I haven't finished my whole face, obviously, for the purpose of this video. I just wanted to show you how I glue them down and then what I use to cover them with. Then on top of this, I can use any old makeup and it works quite well. You can sometimes find that shadows can be a little bit patchy because you have glue under there and you have bumps and lumps. But if once you master it, you get used to it, etc., you'll be able to do amazing drag looks. Again, it does take a long time to master. So just do this and nothing else. Don't plan a big, beautiful look for your first time. Just try gluing your brows down and go watch some TV or something and keep trying, keep trying. It takes a while to master. This took me a long time. Finally, got it pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you try the process and if it works for you. If it doesn't, also let me know. I'm sorry. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell. Thanks, guys.